gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Strawhat Sitdown crew in the building. We promote to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, buddy. Bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's YHuss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, Matt the captain, make them rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We. What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cali Mac on the track, never whack, bring it back, and we are back with Strawhat Sitdown episode 51. Out.
Oof.
Damn.
Let's go.
We passed 50 now, and now we on the road to 100. This is just like that, you feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am here with the gang as usual. We got a Strawhat Mod in the building. What's up, player?
What's good, y'all? What's good? Let's get this chapter rolling. Nice and sexy.
Indeed. Mr. G, what's going on, my brother?
What's good, everybody? Yo, happy Sunday, bro. Everyone, hope you guys have a great weekend.
I hope you guys have a terrible weekend.
Hater mode today. We in hater mode today.
We gotta. So someone needs to do it. Someone needs to bring balance to the universe. You feel me?
That's fine. Balance to the force. You already know.
D3 in the building. What's going on, man?
What's good, y'all? I'm ready to talk about this chapter. I've been holding this shit in for feels like a week. It's crazy.
You know what, bro? Because we was in the chat too, and they were talking about it in the chat, and I really wanted to get deep into it. I'm like, damn, I really gotta save some shit for the podcast.
I was like, I gotta wait. I gotta hold myself back.
Yeah. Last but not least, of course, that boy YHuss in the building with his arm, my brother.
Yo, I'm chilling. It's funny because we was talking a little bit yesterday, right? And the same thing, we was like, yo, we cannot say anything about the chapter.
Yeah.
We gotta hold it all in. So. It's a banger, man.
Those are always the best discussions. Are the ones, the best chapters are the ones where we want to talk in chat, but we can't because we have to save it for Sunday. That's when you know it's a banger chapter. And and it was definitely a lot of info, a little bit of lore, and some pretty surprising reveals. Yeah, let's just get right into it, right? We don't have a summary this week, so we're just gonna free flow it. We're just gonna go to the chapter, discuss what we see, and do it like that. I have the Discord stream up, so you guys should be able to see it, so you're not behind on my stream.
Sir.
And 1072, The Weight of Memory. Do y'all want to talk about cover story real quick?
I didn't look at the cover story last year.
I think it's just who is this? Caesar, Judge, and
Queen.
Yeah, I think that might be the first time we've seen Caesar's fruit. Unless no, but he already has it, so clearly not. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that shit is, but yeah, so there's not really too much. They're just wilding.
Well, I didn't realize it was a fruit.
There is kind of like a theory that, like, you know, the fruit and like what they're doing pertains to the end of this chapter. But if you know what I'm saying, but
okay, that makes sense.
We'll talk about that when we get to it.
I like that.
Okay, that's interesting. So we start out the chapter with kind of a memo almost.
Yeah.
Dr. Vegapunk says, even if the world does not accept how she came to be, the girl was unmistakably human. It was a success. I bear witness to this achievement, and I maintain that this is a huge step towards world peace. Dr. Vegapunk, Chief of Maz, the Laboratory of Peace. So we know after finishing the chapter, we know that this is in reference to the events that happened at the end of the chapter.
Yeah, because I was confused at first. Right. I'm not gonna lie.
Right, because after this we see Bonnie in present time. So I'm thinking that this is alluding towards her. But
This is obviously a note from the past. Does the Laboratory of Peace mean anything to you guys?
I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
I thought, I don't know. It made me realize that like, Vegapunk is like the only one out of all the scientists that we know that was actually striving for peace, while the others were like for power and to help themselves. So
yeah.
I thought it was an actual place, and it was just some shit that I forgot again. And one of y'all were gonna remind me. I'm not gonna lie, but that's good. That's very comforting. It's comforting to know that I'm not alone in confusion to this today.
That's the first time we heard of that for sure.
All right, cool.
It kind of reminds me of like what they talked about with Dragon, right? And then he told Dragon like, don't forget the whole goal, right?
Yeah.
So
okay,
that's really the only thing I can think of.
Okay, all right, cool. So we flash back to present time. Bonnie's crying on the floor. Vegapunk tries to tend to her. Turns out to be an act, and she just immediately turns huge and
just this shit made me laugh so hard, bro. Like she knocked that nigga
played
out.
him. She played him, bro.
She really did, bro. She played him so hard.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it also goes to show that he does care for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you'd think he would, considering like all the stuff that he's done with Kuma.
Yeah, and you can tell too, even from the first interaction a few chapters ago. Like it's not any malice. Like he's trying to appease to her in the chapter, and try and comfort her. He obviously has some type of connection with her. We still don't know the full backstory.
And real quick, I just want to talk a little bit about Bonnie's power, because
definitely.
Her stuff is like it's very interesting. Now that I know that she could do this, like she says, distorted future. So that means she's pulling from
a different timeline.
A different timeline where she's like this, and I think that
too. I think is an important distinction. Like it seems like it's not just random.
Yeah. Like, what do y'all think about that?
I didn't even think about it. I'm not gonna lie. I just said, "Oh, she got big. Cool." This One Piece powers be so ludicrous, bro. It's like, but I actually didn't even know she said distorted future. That's a good point to bring up.
And kind of like what she did to Luffy earlier, like had she turned them all old and what's it called, Jinbei and Chopper, and it said Luffy from like a possible timeline.
You're right. Yo, actually, because it definitely did say that. So it seems that she can age people in different ways. I wonder how
it's not just like a slider like an NBA 2K. Like it's like different routes and stuff. Like, that's crazy.
Because it's not even about like, if you know anything about like sci-fi and like how they use like in most like fictional pieces of media and just how time is explained is like linear, right? So we like thought that she could age people based off of the current timeline and what they would be like in this current timeline, but it seems that her power is not only like from this plane, it also seems that it's interdimensional. Like she can age you based off of another dimension or another time where you exist in such a way. Yeah, so I feel like it's extremely interesting. That makes her power actually a lot more OP than I realized.
Theoretically, doesn't that mean that she could, like, say for example, she could touch like Sanji and make him into the best version of whatever timeline she saw fit? Like,
no, but that's my thing though. It's confusing. Is she envisioning the people or herself? Is she envisioning the subject of her power a certain way, and then like just like finding a timeline where they are this way, or is she like on some Doctor Strange shit, shifting through thousands of timelines till she finds the one and then transforming? You know what I'm saying?
That's what makes me think, right? Because like if they're going off the idea of parallel universes, like obviously there's, from what we like real life theorizes, there's an infinite number of parallel universes. So she could just think of something and then make that person that. So like that could be really, really fucking broken.
That is definitely OP as shit, 100%.
And another like D3, what you just said about like the Sanji thing, like what if like they're fighting an enemy, and kind of like about the Momo situation in Wano, it's like, okay, you might not be able to fight this nigga right now, but if I put you 20 years, do you get like the changes that's gonna come with 20 years, like the strength and the muscle tone and all that stuff, right? Like
exactly, and like that's what I'm thinking about. It's just like she could be crazy in a fight. Like,
I mean, it's kind of what she just did right now, right? With the muscle.
Yeah, but I mean, like no disrespect, she could put it on somebody that could actually do something. You know,
You're not wrong. You're
Yeah,
not
like
wrong.
imagine she buffed like Nami or Usopp from another timeline
like
where
we
he's
just
this
get
crazy
fucking,
brave
we
warrior.
get like fucking Giga Chad, Usopp, yeah, like
That's so real. That's so
Like,
real. I'm here for
It's
it.
funny because there's even more about her power that I did want to mention a little bit, but like it's later on.
Okay.
Well, one thing I did notice is that she could use her power with any object that she touches. At first, I thought it was like that she had to physically touch you, but like we'll see, like she uses this rod to fucking that she just picked up to use her power on Vegapunk.
Yep.
oh,
You know,
that's
so-
sick.
With the skewer thing, yeah.
Yeah. So
We're talking about where is it? Right here.
Yeah, the next
Yeah.
this move right here. So she uses it. She used the
Timely
to
thrust.
transmit her ability onto
Onto him.
him.
and the official is same shit. Age
Yeah,
skewer.
age skewer. Yeah.
Age skewer. Let's see. Same shit. I actually like timely thrust
Timely
better.
thrust sounds
The,
so much.
It's
I
the
did
it's
too.
the
I
it's
did
the
too.
alliteration. The alliteration is
Yeah.
But
So yeah, she hits him with the timely thrust. He pops into a whole bunch of shapes and colors and stuff, and de-ages. But they say this is the shiny doodads are a manifestation of the years I just lost.
I thought that was interesting because like when we saw her use her power on the others, we didn't see that shit. You know. So
Yeah, I guess it's because maybe Vegapunk just has all these experiences, all this knowledge, intelligence from his power.
Well, I was gonna say, Mister. I mean, in the sense of like when she uses it on Chopper in them, like she pushes them forward, right? In this one, she's making them.
That makes
but
sense.
I still think what you're saying is also true because back in Saboti, she does like a bar of people or whatever. Like the Marines don't like. There's no like gushing of just whatever this is. But also
Yeah.
like I'm sure because Saboti was like literally over like 10 how many years ago, right? Oda has definitely thought about how her power will fit and what he'll do with it. So I'm
Yeah.
sure like it's just not something he was thinking about back then. But yeah, this also was not present back in Saboti too.
Yeah.
Because she turned a whole bunch of them into babies in
Yeah.
Saboti, right? But this
Yeah,
didn't
like,
But
happen.
she did it. But the thing is, like, we didn't see her age. She aged not only like she aged everyone, Jinbei, Luffy, and Chopper, and we didn't see that either.
That's what I was saying like before is that like in this sense she took it away from him. You know what I mean? All she's doing
Yeah.
when she ages you is pushing you forward. You're not losing anything, which is why there wouldn't be the loss of the whatever these are, right? That's what I was thinking.
Doodads, whatever.
No, but she did that in Saboti though. I'm confused.
But no, I'm saying
What's the difference?
it's like two different things though. Like my point was that the reason, so what Strawhat said and what Miss said earlier, when on Chopper, Jinbei and them, like going later, or like making them older versus making them babies, like she just made them older, like Chopper and them. So why would there be a loss of anything?
No,
right?
I'm not talking about now though. I'm talking about on Saboti, like when
And
she
then
was
yeah, and
first
then I was saying,
introduced.
so yeah, I was just replying to Mister, right? And then I was saying, but there's also the Saboti incident with the babies where this didn't happen, which is what you're saying, Callie.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking like, okay, so I mean, Oda probably just wasn't thinking about this much back then. He probably has worked on it since. So
Word.
there's two different things right there. That's what I mean.
Where?
Turn niggas babies and then turn niggas older.
Where? No, I understand. Okay, yeah. So she turns him into a baby. His stuff
Oh yeah,
falls out.
actually, the point that I want to say earlier was when she's holding him by his his neck or whatever. She says, "Calm down. My power doesn't last forever on living things." I don't know if I talked about it on the episode, but when Shinobu makes Momo an adult, I was wondering what was the difference between her power and Bonnie's really. Obviously, Bonnie can go further, like forward and back.
Yeah.
But like, I was wondering maybe Shinobu can only do it on like maybe Shinobu can also do it on objects, right?
Yeah,
but
because
we know that.
She can't do it.
I mean,
on
that's
objects.
how her rest
Because-
works.
Yeah.
I was thinking
I
Shinobu had
remember-
both, and Bonnie only had the humans. Like Bonnie could not do it to objects, but now we know from what she says here that she can affect living objects. Yeah. So
The-
she kind of
the-
confirms that that she also can use it on objects. That's all I was
The
thinking.
difference between those two is like two main things: is that Shinobu can only go forward, and Shinobu's is permanent, whereas like Bonnie's goes away over time.
Yeah, on living things.
Yeah,
On
on
living things.
on
Yeah,
living
yeah,
things.
Bonnie
So she-
hasn't done this on anything in anime yet. Hasn't used her power.
Nah, I
on
don't
an
think
object
so.
yet? Not that we know of. Where
Yeah.
I don't think so.
okay.
So yeah, there's an interesting line she says that kind of tells a bit about her power.
So she's holding him up, asking why they killed the pops.
Her face there is really good.
Yeah,
It's nice
bro.
to see the intention.
Mad
Bro,
emotion.
Oda's art has just got so much better, bro. It's crazy.
It has.
Oda's OD, bro. The GOAT.
Go.
Definitely has. So we switch over to Kuma on the red line, and he's trying to climb the red line. So I think when we first saw Kuma at the red line, I don't remember. I think one of you guys said that he might be headed towards Mary Wa. Mary Wa.
Oh yeah. Because he's here, yeah.
Right. That would probably be my guess right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it in the chapter too. They're heading towards Bourgeois.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Well, it's just more so he's climbing the red line. I don't think they say specifically.
No, they did in the chapter. Like said, he's heading towards Bourgeois. I'm pretty sure.
Does it happen again after this?
Wait, do you mean like the chapters before or this one?
This one, I'm pretty sure, because they were trying to shoot him down because they were said he's climbing towards the.
Don't let it. Yeah. No, D3's right. Oh, that's later on though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he is climbing up. He does get shot down, but we also get the info that Vegapunk promised that he would keep the secret as to why he got transformed from Bonnie.
Specifically, yeah.
So Bonnie's just trying to get this information out of Vegapunk, but Vegapunk is keeping his lips tight due to his promise to Bonnie's pops.
I think that's clearly like, I don't know if y'all thought about it, but I think it's clear that the reason why this is happening and he has to keep it a secret is because she's technically the reason why.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you mean?
Like,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, so it was made clear in the story that she was captured by the world government and she was for a period of time captive. That can make them do anything to Kuma, and without her being aware of like all this that's happening because of her being captured, they could have went to Kuma and been like, listen, we'll do whatever to your daughter unless you comply with us, this, that, and the third. And I feel like that's where this setup is headed, because if she found out that Kuma is doing this because of her specifically being captured or whatever the world government did to her, that will make her feel terrible, and he probably doesn't want that for her. I feel like that's the most like logical reason as to why Kuma is doing doesn't want her to know, at least why he doesn't want her specifically to know.
Yeah, I can respect that.
But because then she would start blaming herself, right? Like I was the one that did this to my pops.
That's a solid theory. I like that. That's solid.
Vegapunk said it would hurt you. It would serve to hurt you.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing. He's just gonna protect their emotions.
And there's also another thing that supports it is that when we first see CP0 get, like, when they're on their boat and someone says something about Jewelry Bonnie, Lucci says she's already served her purpose to the government or some shit like that.
Yeah.
True. So they already used.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I mean, Kuma's done, right? So we got they got everything they could have out of Kuma. So
Interesting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a bit more to support that.
Okay. So Vegapunk is staying tight, lip sealed on that matter with Kuma to Bonnie. Bonnie turns around and what happened?
I was just saying, Vegapunk's a homie though, because like he didn't want to do it, right? You could tell when he's talking about it. Like I don't even want to remember it, but he's saying how great of a man her pops was.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. You can tell Vegapunk is not a bad guy, or at the very least, he's morally gray at the very least. So yeah, we Bonnie finds a door with the Kuma print on it. Very interesting.
Like that has nothing to do with Kuma.
I promise.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like that's what Vegapunk was saying in like the page right above this. He's like, yo, that door has nothing to do with Kuma. And then the door has like fucking
nothing to do with
on
Kuma,
it.
and then it's immediately just a print of him. That's mad funny. Yeah, so she breaks the door down, and we see a very familiar bubble. The Kuma bubble.
I love this page too. Like
this is a nice panel.
Like,
this is a nice panel indeed. Very nice, very nice. What were you gonna say, Mister?
I was just saying, we actually just saw her use her ability on an inanimate object.
I was just thinking that.
Oh shit, you're right. Would you look at that?
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah,
She definitely used it to break down the lock. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she finds this orb, and we get a flashback to Vegapunk and Kuma. I'm assuming before he went full Robotnik.
Yeah.
What?
They're talking about after death, about the soul, and how you can transmit energy after death, etc., etc. And
Something
Vegapunk
interesting,
is,
actually. I hope y'all know that whole 21 grams thing about the soul is like a real idea
Real
someone
thing.
had in real life. Like,
Yeah.
they measured someone after death, like a few people after death. It's like, oh, they all lost 21 grams, some shit like that. So this is like Oda pulled something out of real life, which I feel like so directly that doesn't happen too much. Like obviously there's like themes like the Buddha and all that stuff, but like that
bring
was
it
to me, this
directly.
is like mad. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
pretty
crazy.
cool. I didn't even know this was like a real ideology. That's pretty sick.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Where's bro?
So he's saying that he wants to see if he can take intangible energies and give them physical forms, like much like Kuma does with his ability. He's asked if Kuma can pull his memories out to further his own research. So we stop the flashback with him saying no, but then we go back and we see this large bubble. Vegapunk is trying to insist that it's pain, but Bonnie and we all know that it's actually his memories and whatnot.
I'm curious what color it is. You know, cause I feel like it's probably represented differently from when we saw when he took out from
Well,
Luffy.
it was red when it was pain, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm curious what color this will be.
I want to say, wait, what color? The ones where he sent the Straw Hats away, that was just like white bubbles, right?
That was just white, yeah.
I can definitely see like blue for this then.
Yeah. And who better to know her own father's powers than Bonnie?
Yeah.
So
Obviously,
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting concept, talking about the extrapolation of, like, you know, things that you wouldn't think have physical form but turn them into some type of physical manifestation, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what Vegapunk is doing, and Kuma is like the blueprint of that. Has me thinking more about the whole devil fruit thing. You know, like, you know, dreams are dreams are real. Dreams are like, devil fruits are the physical manifestation of dreams. Like, you know, it really has you thinking about that type of stuff. Just like how, like, memories, you think about it, there was only one other character that we definitively knew could take away memories, and that was Pudding. Yeah. So the fact that we know now Kuma can do it, and you know, that probably plays a huge role in like the voice entry, because, you know, I'm pretty sure there was like some type of erasure, potentially some type of erasure of memories or erasure of like understanding of what happened in the past and stuff. So it's just all how it's tying back together is very interesting to me.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Kuma, man, he's such an interesting character, man. I'm telling you, like,
He's
I
such a
feel like,
I love this dude.
yeah, I feel like knowing we're on the brink of seeing his memories, like, dude, we're gonna see something fucking huge when this guy's.
It's gonna be like fucking groundbreaking, bro.
Yeah.
100%. So Bonnie finds out or recognizes that it's not a pain bubble, it's probably a memories bubble. We get flashbacks between her and we flash between her and Kuma fighting the Marines on the Red Line. And we leave them off with her about to touch the bubble. We don't know what's about to happen with that.
And like they said before, they said that, you know, they're trying to stop him from reaching Mary Joa. So
Yeah.
But here's what I wanted to say. It was that, like, let's say theoretically he's obviously climbing the fucking wall to get to Mary Joa, right? But when we talked about when he first landed on the Saboti, we didn't really know what the fuck he was doing. Because I was saying that potentially he was on his way to Egghead and the wall was in the fucking way, because he's in the first half of the New World, right? Or the Grand Line.
Yeah.
I definitely now think he's clearly going to Mary Joa. But to them, no matter what the fuck he was doing, it would look like he was going to Mary Joa, right?
Yeah, facts. That's true.
Yeah, so he could very well just get over the top and then just blow right past and then head towards Egghead.
I don't think he's going to Egghead anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
because like there's like, the developments are happening on Egghead. Like
Yeah.
he's clearly climbing the wall, and they showed us the what's called that fucking giant that climbed the wall 200 years ago or whatever. Like
Fish and Tiger done it. Like
yep, Fish Tiger the goat, by the way.
Yeah.
This has me honestly. This is like you said, YHuss. This is like the third time we've seen someone, or like it's been mentioned that someone has done this now in the story that we know of. Now I'm starting to believe that this is too much of a coincidence, and I'm starting to think that there's something else at play here, because two things. One, like if you don't have to scale Marijwa, why would you? Kuma technically has been there. He was a slave there, so it's not like it's someplace that he's never been to. So he could, like, and clearly we see that he has retention of his devil fruit ability. Yeah. So why does he not like just simply teleport there if Marijwa was to go?
Yeah.
Why does he have to scale it? And
You're
two, like I said, like it 3 times. I'm starting to think that that's a coincidence, especially because someone like Kuma is scaling the wall. So
I have more for you, bro. We can keep going, bro. We've already talked about how Kuma has that Bible that he carries has like some priestly figure or like some saintly figure behind a sun, right?
Right.
And they have we saw some wings that like look kind of like sky people type wings or whatever. So we now know that Kuma is part of some special people according to Bonnie. So I think he has a big tie to like the whole sun god thing and maybe the people of the ancient kingdom, and that mechanical giant. That's what it was doing. Like you said, it was climbing the red line for whatever reason, right? And it had a weapon. It looked like it was gonna wage war on the celestial dragons or whatever. And like I don't know, I just feel like you said, there's a bit more, like it's too specific, right? And Kuma is the guy to draw that parallel. So I'm telling you, when we see this motherfucker's flashback, bro, get ready, man. Get ready.
Yeah,
I think that'd
think
be insane, bro.
I'm just going to stake out like what I think kind of right now. I think that like there's something else there on the red line that we're not privy to.
Mm-hmm.
That at least for the case of the giant and Kuma, because I can't say about Fish and Tiger because he seemed like he had a pretty specific goal.
Yeah.
But at least with those two, there's something else there, especially when we talk about like when the giant scaled the wall. It was during like the time where fishermen were discriminated more heavily than today.
Yeah, they were fighting for the rights.
They were fighting for the rights, and there seemed to be some type of link to them doing that versus this like and the giant. So I'm thinking like, and we can revisit the whole Lunarian thing. Like, are the Lunarians no longer on the red line? Like, are they like hidden potentially, or the like somewhere, and like, or is there like someone on the red line that they're supposed to reach or something, and they're just hitting Marijwa or something like that as like not necessarily like a counter goal, but like as like a byproduct of what their goal is. Because like I said, it's so weird to me. I understand the biblical references for Akuma, and maybe this is some type of like ritual, but if his goal is to like do away with the celestial dragon, Kuma comes off to me as very efficient, and he's not fully conscious. So it wouldn't make sense to me that the robot self of him is doing the least efficient thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like waging war by himself. Yeah,
I get that.
And climbing the red line. When like if it was like any other robot, they'd be like, okay, powers, I'm there. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so there's something more. There's something more that we have to like look out for.
Yeah.
Crazy shit, bro.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, okay, we can keep going.
Yeah, so that's it for the Kuma Bonnie stuff. We go back to the Egghead Labostratum, whatever. They're all at the top. We come back to where they left off a few weeks ago, where the defense systems are down. They say it's a good thing that Zoran Brook stayed on the ship. There's 2 against 3, but looking back, they have the Seraphim on their side, as well as the CP0 agent. So it's 7 against 2. So 2 of the Vegapunks go down to try and help Zoro and Brook, as well as take control of the Seraphim again because of the chain of command. They can get there and issue commands to the Seraphim, then they can take control of them again. We go back to Brook and Zoro. Zoro makes a comment on, or they're both making a comment on the way that Kaku looks.
Yeah, awakened.
Yeah, we don't get a full, we don't really get like a full handle like we did with Lucci, but we do get a little bit of awakened Kaku, awakened giraffe.
Yeah, because of the fire and all that shit.
He has the fire around his same way that Lucci did.
I'll be the first one to say it. I don't care. Y'all can hit on me. I think the awakened designs for the zones just look ass for like Lucci and Kaku. I don't
For
like
both of them?
I don't like either of
Lucci
them.
looks fantastic. Kaku, I think, look.
I don't like either of them.
You know what?
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think that Kaku's is bad. I do think that it's a little lazy taking the same design as Lucci and then just throwing it on Kaku, especially when we've seen different awakenings for different zones. You know what I mean? Why do they still have the same? Just because they're in the same group?
Okay, I could probably hold on. Does anyone else want to chime in or?
Oh no, I was just being a hater. You can go ahead.
W hatred. Love to see it.
Too much, bro.
So, if we remember, this isn't our first time seeing Zoan awakenings. We, go back to Impel Down.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 guards there, they were awakened as well. Now they obviously didn't have the design, so I'm starting to think that this is like Oda's like fresh take on what a regular Zoan awakening looks like, but keywords is regular. Like those guards were regular; they weren't like ancient Zoans or mythical Zoans. And the same with Rob and Kaku; they're not ancient nor mythicals; they're both just regular Zoans. So maybe going forward, this is the design for all regular Zoans.
I mean, it's still kind of lazy, but
Sleep.
I respect it.
I mean,
I also think don't mind. Another thing is that like, I don't think it's like Oda just like, drawing over it. Not that that's what he's doing or what you're saying he's doing, but even Shaka mentions it where like, usually Zoan awakenings like take over the mind of the user. I think that's what that is in Impel Down. Like they can't handle it, right?
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
So I remember that.
I think when you were saying regular, I thought you meant like the when they figure it out. It's not like they're not getting overtaken. So yeah, I think is what like why they look like this, like the cloud thing or whatever. I think that's what this.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You're spitting. Actually, you might be right, because now that I think about it, when it comes to like these designs, it reminds me of like obviously the parallel is it looks like Luffy and other stuff, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's because the fact that their minds aren't taken over, that they're like enlightened, awakened, if that makes sense. Like
that's the word I was looking for. Yeah,
like they're enlightened, and maybe that means that they're in full control. They don't.
But Callie, you know why I would contest the lazy thing though? Like, why doesn't that fit with Paramecia? You know what I mean? Like, they all kind of do the same thing. Like, you make your surroundings whatever your ability is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. I feel like, but it's. I understand the concept that you're saying, but because Paramecias are there's such a variety in the different Paramecia fruits, they do the same thing, but they do it differently, or they look differently, they feel different, you know what I'm saying? This just seems like it's just black flames on whatever your regular form is.
But I will contest that also a little bit. But no, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like, I definitely understand that, and I get it. But it's like, at the end of the day, Zoans, at least regular Zoans, just regular, are described as, the Zoan devil fruits are animal like base devil fruits, and they're mainly a speed attack buff. That's usually what they're described as, with the rare exceptions like Chopper's fruit, mythicals, and hell, actually ancient Zoans play just into that as well, but even harder. So I think the exceptions are mythical Zoans and Chopper and Luffy's fruit. I think those are like the exceptions. to that rule. They can still give you an attack, strength buff, speed buff, of course, but they also seem to add extra or have extra on top of that, such as like Marco's flames, Kaido's Boro breath, and with nature controlled, Luffy's his fruit, his rubber fruit and stuff.
Yeah.
Sengoku's Buddha, etc., all these different things. But
I was gonna say I would like to see like maybe a bird awakening, see if they change anything, because like these two are two 48 animals or whatever.
I was actually
grounded base too.
I was actually gonna say too. I think it's also because like they're so intertwined together, right? So I feel like they like influence each other. Like Haku saw Lucy like get this awakening. He's like, oh damn, like because right, the devil fruit deals with like the dream of someone, right? So what if he's like, I want to get that awakening just like Rob Lucci, and then that's why he has something similar. So until we see another regular Zoan awakening, I think we should hold off on calling it lazy. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna call it lazy, but I respect it.
I mean, I'm not calling it lazy. I'm not calling it lazy. I just think both of them look ugly.
I can't get behind that. D3 on his own with that one. I can't get behind that one.
I can handily be a hater on my own right here. It's strictly because I didn't even like Lucci originally. Like when I was.
We keep going.
Bro. Not gonna lie, D3, it sounds like you hate it.
I'm
W hater. W hater.
I admit that. I just don't like Lucci. He's boring.
Do we see Kaku's other? Like, is there another panel with him? Like,
yeah, at the end.
At the end, but it's not like a full. It's not like a full panel. Not like Lucci where he got like a title card and stuff. You know.
Yeah. These are like the best ones.
Okay.
I'm lukewarm on him. I'm not gonna lie. Like you said, he's the same form, kind of, with just different clouds.
Yeah.
He's a giraffe, so
and
it's hard to make a giraffe cool. I ain't gonna lie.
This is true, bro. That's true, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's hard to make a giraffe look cool, dude. Like,
it is.
I was kind of hoping we get Khalifa back, so we could see what an awakening soap would be. That shit would be funny.
Yo, we got the coolest zone in a while after
the
shot, so it's all good, bro. Like, we straight, bro.
I did enjoy Zoro's commentary during this fight, though.
Oh, he said he had his fill fighting critters with zigzag attacks back in Wano. I'm tired of it. That was funny. That made me laugh when I read that too. I can't lie.
Yeah, too, bro. He fucking smacked that bitch down too. Shit.
And two things. One, again, I'm disappointed that a whole group called the Beast Pirates and not one single one in there had awakening. But two people of the CP0 has awakening. That is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Like now, I don't know if it's amounting to much because Zoro without Conqueror's Haki coding is smacking Kaku. So I don't even with awakening. So now my scaling of them is actually kind of lower a little bit now. Because at first I thought they were like first commander, second commander tier, but maybe not. I don't know. Because Zoro did get stronger after Wano, but he's not even using like named attacks. He's not using nothing. So I mean, he is 3-storing it up, but it's like it reminds me of when do y'all remember when what's his face? Kobe and Himepo when they came at Luffy and Zoro
at 107,
at CP9 previously used on them, and they didn't even use their advanced shit on them. Basic shit. Like, nah, we seen that. Get that shit out of here. Y'all not as good as them or whatever. That is the vibe I'm getting when Kaku did this to Zoro, and Zoro's like, I dealt with this already. Clearly, in my mind, he's saying King was clearly worse. You're not there. Like, and
go right ahead, Mister.
I was gonna ask at the end, like, who do you guys think is stronger, like King, between like King and Lucci, you know? Because
so would Luffy be able to disrespect King like the way he was doing in Gear 5?
Right now, right now to King as he was during the raid.
Mm-hmm.
He was giving Zoro a hard time.
But Zoro just came back from fighting Kaido, though.
He had the full recovery thing, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Was it a full? It was a full recovery.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken.
I forgot. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
wait,
Lucci,
but Luffy. Wait, you said Lucci. I'm bugging.
Lucci. Yeah.
I better say that's a good point because Lucci did recover, even though like Luffy.
Oh yeah,
beat the
Luffy
shit
got
out
right
of
up
him.
back up.
Yeah,
That
Luffy-
speaks to his own ability,
yeah.
right? Like,
No, we were
And-
talking about Zoro recovering though, no?
yeah.
Am I
So
wrong?
my point is that like, oh yeah, but he's just mentioning how like he took that shit from Luffy, even though
Yeah, because
it
Okay.
washed.
because Mr. said King versus Lucci,
Lucci, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we're bringing
Yeah,
Luffy into it because
Kaku's not in it, bro. Kaku's no like.
I don't even know who that is. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
So real, so real.
because Luffy cleared Lucci, and could he do the same to King? I think at this point, right now, from what I'm seeing, no, because
I
King
agree with
has
you,
a
yeah.
lot going on, and on top
King
of that,
does King have Conquer Saki or no? Do we not?
no,
No, he doesn't have conquerors.
At least he never showed it.
Like,
if he
yeah.
does, but the thing is that like King, he, you know, depending on where you feel how close Zoro is to Luffy, I think Luffy is leagues above Zoro at this point. But you know, we've seen like first commanders and second tier commander type people fight Yonko. Like when Queen fought Big Mom, she wasn't in her right mind, and he was able to get some attacks off of her, but he wasn't able to make her fall. And when she got back in her right mind, she just like whooped his ass. And you know, similar things to like Luffy versus Kaido. He was arguably Katakuri tier or whatever, and got mollywopped one shot, no coming back. I think that based off this showcase, King would be a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree.
But we just need to see a little bit more to confirm that
That's
or
fair.
not.
That's
But
fair.
that's where my instincts are.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I think everybody here agrees. I don't think anybody would say.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think even like this right here, like Zoro, like kind of like get the shit away from me, and then Luffy, what he did to Lucci. I think what happens at the end of this chapter kind of solidifies that CP0 is not too much the focus of like the conflict that is.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna be threats. Like
Yeah.
we're chilling.
They would definitely, and like I think Mod brought this up a few weeks ago, but then I 100% agree with him now. But they are, and this whole arc is definitely just going to be a showcase as to where the Straw Hats are now. Like they went into
Yeah, it's like-
Wano being these underdogs, and now they came out Emperor crew, and this is just showing. I mean, this is an Emperor's crew. All this little petty trivial enemies they can't compete.
This just gives me like Fishman Island vibes, right? We're just showing
Dude,
Right,
you read
yeah,
my mind.
I agree.
Just
I agree. I like that.
same thing, dude.
Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely
and just real quick, last thing on top of that, like just imagine we are seeing two people with awakenings, and the fact that Luffy and Zoro are just like sleep, and it's just crazy to think like, it's just kind of crazy to think about. Like Oden needed to push them to have awakenings just to make us, the audience, feel like they a legitimate threat, but they're still not. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
100%. Yeah. So so Zoro deflects the giraffe attack. Lucci calls out to the Seraphim to destroy the lab before Vegapunk gets back.
And before she gets real, yo, he's sweating, bro. He's sweating.
He's going through it right now. He's suffering.
Yeah, he saw Kaku get hit. He's like, all right, you know what?
We gotta move.
Yeah.
So the Seraphim actually started putting in mad work on the lab, like blowing this shit apart. So Kaku gets up. He says they're doing the job for him. Everything is looking good. And then out of nowhere, he gets bit on the neck, falls to the ground. Lucci looks back, confused, dismayed. And we see Stussy with bat wings, vampire teeth, saying, "Who, me? I'm just putting him to sleep. Would you please join him, Lucci? Think it's time for your cat nap too." Clone of Miss Buckingham, Stussy of the Rocks Pirates, Mad's first successful clone.
Oof.
End of the chapter.
I
chills.
almost fell out of my chair when I was reading the chapter. Like literally, I was like, "What the fuck did I just read?"
Yeah, that was hella. Like we just got info dumped
Bro.
like a mug.
It's a bomb, bro. It's a Woj bomb.
Bro.
Okay, so isn't Miss Buckingham the one that's with Weevil, right?
That is the
So,
big theory going.
That's the theory. That's the theory.
Okay, wait.
We don't
Okay,
know for
so
sure.
so I read the
I
chapter,
got you, Kelly.
and you know, because you know me, I don't know these people, so I was like, this is cool.
I got you,
Who
Kelly,
is
I got
this?
you.
Wow.
I got you.
Morgan, I just saw Kelly's tweet. Morgan
out here.
on Twitter,
I was
bro.
like, yo, it's Morgan from Marvel. Wow.
Oh man.
Callie, so basically, right now, Buckingham Stussy, like the Rock's Pirates, that wasn't like no one knew anything about. Like, there's no, if you go on the wiki, it's not a wiki page, right? But so if I sent the picture to the One Piece chat, I hope it loaded. The quality
This joint
is
is
ass.
quality is trash, bro.
Yeah. But this woman who was with Weevil saying, oh, that's her son, Whitebeard's. She was Whitebeard's lover or whatever.
She was with Whitebeard's son. Yeah.
He said, oh, I was on Whitebeard's crew. That's when we had this kid or whatever. Back in the day, we all know there's Whitebeard's only on 2 crews that we know of, his own and Rock's, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly someone named Miss Buckingham Stussy is revealed to be on the Rock's Pirates. This person's name is Bakin, Bakkin, Bakin. If you just kind of say Buckingham quickly, that sounds like Bakin.
Bakin, okay.
So they have a similar hairstyle, but that's really like as far as it goes in terms of, unless I'm missing something.
So this girl, Bakin, is a former member of the Rock's crew.
Well, she said that. Didn't she said that, right? She said I was on
He
the
was on the same
crew
crew as Whitebeard. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, so
Whitebeard,
people are
meaning-
inferring that this old lady
Was on the rocks.
was a member of Rock's crew,
Yeah,
and then
Stussy
they're
is the clone of this woman.
yeah, and they're inferring that Stussy is the clone of this woman. Okay.
And the reason
Oh.
she kept her age is because she, like, I think Artur tweeted that, like, basically it's like a clearly the bad fruit or whatever mythical model, either vampire or like a succubus or whatever. So yeah, those are the going theories right now.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or like the mythical human fruit model
Dracula?
Dracula,
Yeah, and actually, just real quick, what I was telling y'all earlier about the cover page. That cover page is being linked in. Some people are making the connections that that devil fruit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That this is what they were doing. Oh, that this is the bat devil fruit, and this is what they were creating right here. Yo, that would actually be sick. That would be so fucking cool. Because this would actually be the second time that the cover story has tied into the chapter within the last like 10 chapters. Like, that's crazy.
And then if we even go back to, I think chapter 1070, when we see like the first time we see the Mads all together, and we see the woman in the back on the right
It's
on the
really
right side.
her. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, now I see why everybody was popping off. That's mad cool. Okay.
yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I want to point something out that my boy sent to me. You guys have probably seen it already, but I'm gonna throw it up on the screen right now. This is from chapter 860. Stussy's first introduction was her drinking giraffe juice from smoothie.
Oh my god.
No.
Oda is a fucking magician wizard, bro. Her very first introduction, smoothie, twist a giraffe's neck, and Stussy is drinking giraffe juice.
Yo, she said, I've had this before. I want it again, bro.
That's
Nah,
What is ridiculous, bro? Oh my god.
Oh,
And I
Oda is
can't
a
believe
wizard.
we never questioned that, or because I guess at the time that wasn't like the big thing, but now that this is like revealed to us and you go back and look, that's crazy. That's insane. Like,
Oda is a wizard, man. Oda is an absolute
Oda
wizard.
is God. Like, he be putting so much gems and stuff right in front of our faces, and we don't be knowing until later down the line. Like, nah, this was a gem. Look, like, oh shit, like,
yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was real cool. I
Now
want to
I
make
think
sure you
about
guys
it.
saw it.
That is a fuck, yeah, absolutely insane. Like Oda, like what the fuck, man. But anyway, there's another like so when the cover page started, when they started going to the Mads flashback, the first thing they showed was not like any of the Mads people. It was the Dufeld guy, the loan shark, right? And that's the guy that Stussy hangs out with during the tea party. And when Stussy comments that like pudding is so beautiful, she reminds me of like me back when I was that age or whatever, that motherfucker says, oh, how many decades ago are you thinking? And she's like, shut the fuck up. She tells him like, just shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
And so clearly that guy has a relationship with Mads. He knows how old she like so.
Damn, we never paid that comment no mind either. That's so crazy. Or it probably was just blown off. Huh?
Same. A nigga like me did. I brought it up earlier.
Oh, brother. The One Piece wizard himself.
But yeah, insanity, bro. Insanity, man.
Nah, yeah, it's definitely sick.
And the fact that, like, you know, this whole time, to build up on what you said, YHuss, this whole time when I thought that they were talking about her age and she was older than, like, she lets on or whatever, I thought it was the same thing as what's her face with Rayleigh.
Shaki.
Shaki, yeah. I thought it was just something like that. But, like, no, she's, like, a whole clone. And she's been around for decades. So, yeah, that makes sense. Like, maybe clones don't age. Maybe they don't. But yeah.
I mean, it kind of, if you go back to the beginning of the chapter when they said, I'm certain this one step, no. Even if the world doesn't agree, I know that she is a living, breathing person. A true, undeniable human being. It was a success. I mean, I feel like because of everything that they've been working on, right? Like Judge, Caesar, Queen, like finding the a way to not de-age to like so that they can sustain. I think that was always like their goal, right? So
yeah,
and just maintain power, but
and holy shit, the community is also freaking out because now the floodgates is open.
I hate this shit, bro.
Yeah, I know. The floodgates have opened. Clones are officially in One Piece, like officially.
Well, we've had that though, because we had that with the Vinsmokes.
Nah, they're not. Their
army is full of clones. Burma is only clones. Yeah, that
only
is
clones.
True. But what Strawhat's like basically the things we are saying, Mister, is that like, bro, everyone's like, oh, Zoro's a clone of Ryuma, Luffy's a clone of Joy, like stupid shit like that. Okay. There's one. The only one I saw that wasn't terrible was actually from our tour today. And I will link it in a second. But yeah, most of them are like really, really bad ones like that. But here's one that I thought wasn't terrible. I will send it to the One Piece chat.
And also the Seraphims are clones too. So.
Well,
yes,
yeah, but they're all. But no, I think it's a little different with the Seraphim because the Seraphim, while yes, they are clones and they technically have blood and a conscience and stuff like that, they're also branded, labeled as like pacifista. Mm-hmm. So. While that's true, there might be some hibernation between like what the Kuma pacifistas are and like what they are. There might be some like deviation or some type of balancing there. But what I'm saying is Stutzi is like, from what we've seen, is like the first like true confirmation of a humanoid based clone, like, you know, Shadow the Hedgehog is in Sonic, you know, like a life form. He's like created. Such a random example. No, I mean,
oh my god,
no, but like, you get what I'm saying, like a life form that's created in a lab, like you know, or like Bizarro from Superman or whatever, like just anything you could think of that was like an actual humanoid that was not actually birthed, you know. Like, that's what I mean.
And it was a while ago, too, right? Like, back when they were working Match, like, 30, 40 years ago, right? Like, this shit's crazy, bro. Vegapunk is ahead of his time, man.
Yep.
So, yeah. Huh? No, go ahead.
I definitely lost my whole train of thought. That's tough. Well. I definitely had a point, but there it goes.
Isn't that crazy to y'all? So, like, YHuss, like what you said about the whole Zoro is a clone of Ryuma thing. Like, I was looking at Morge's breakdown, and what he hates the idea too of like that being the case, but he said there's actually a lot of evidence that can support that, but he hopes, dear God, that that's not actually the case. Because the whole one eye parallel, the fact that like, you know, they were talking about it in Wano, like, you know, he looks just like and his fighting style is just like such and such, and you know, obviously Oda already came out saying like, no, that's not his father, that's not like his, you know, anything. So
and it's hard to pinpoint like an actual like a direct relative of Zoro's, but like I think, in my opinion, I think if there's anything I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trust Oda, like just to not overuse some things. And I feel like like how prevalent the Seraphim are gonna like showcase like That the fact that like clones are going to be a specific thing. It's not going to be something that's going to like overturn the whole world or something like that. At least that's how it looks like to me. And also Unit 01, right? And Stussy went wrong, right? So maybe he like didn't. I mean, not that went wrong is a strong word, but like she works for the fucking government now. Everything went badly, right? But
she might be undercover. Like she might be a double, triple agent. Like,
so I actually wanted to ask you guys: you guys don't think that the person that Vegapunk was talking to was Stussy, right?
There's another part to discuss. Yeah.
Nah, I thought that at first, but nah, I don't think so because they said that the person was living on Egghead Island, or
they would lose their home. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why at first I thought that, then I dismissed it because I looked back and the person has been there this whole time.
And they were like on the phone with Vegapunk in the middle of
Now she might have been responsible for like the whatchamacallit,
the defense system's going down.
Maybe she's responsible for that, and that's
I look back and she was like had a question mark reaction when that happened.
I remember.
Yeah. So
I still think it was the person they called. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm sticking with that.
Okay. No. That's fair. I'm just throwing up the possibility. But yeah.
That kind of goes to show like we have literally no idea what the fuck she's doing.
Right. Bro, are you telling me that Tsushigi is a clone of Kuna, right?
Yeah, that's another one. No, wait. YHuss, wait.
Here I go.
Wait, D3, wait.
It just opens up a lot of questions though, because like we don't know who's the clone. Yeah.
Like, and then on top of that, like, you got to think about it like this. Oda opened up there are some things that Oda has never touched again, and he might never ever touch again. The Kuina and Tsushigi thing was such a long time ago that Oda made a parallel to them too. That Zoro was like, "What the fuck? Like, why did she like?" And he never touched that again.
Yeah.
Like, it's to this point, like, I'm pretty sure all of us in our minds just chopped it up to it being a coincidence. Like at this point, because Oda went so long without addressing it that it's just like, okay, well, maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. Like, you know, we never put too much stock into it. But this reveal has like, bro, we can look back. And the fact that, like, you know, Dragon went to Zoro's island where Kuina got her up and potentially got her up through. That's been the long theory in the community.
Damn.
And and Vegapunk is connected to the revolutionaries. Like, what are we talking about?
It's crazy.
Yo.
I'm not even another now. That's why I was saying, like, this has real, like, if there's real shit about it, I'm with it, bro. I can see it, bro.
So brave.
Oh my God.
I would be fine with some shit like that. What the fuck? I don't give a fuck.
Bro,
like,
that's crazy. So what is her reasoning for flipping right now?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, what is she really doing right now? Like, whose side is she on, you know?
Yeah.
Clearly not the government's.
Yeah.
No, is she helping Vegapunk because, you know, they go back, or is this another agenda from the Gorosei, you know what I mean? So like, or from someone.
Oh, is she really? Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, if she, like, man, I don't fucking know, bro.
Oh God, so many. Oda's got us questioning life now, bro. Like,
yeah. Literally, by the way, like literally, who's a clone? What, like, who's real? This shit is crazy, man. This shit is just not normal, bro.
Yeah, this is.
No break next week, right? No break.
No sir. Man.
Oh man, yo, I wonder what answers we're getting on. Yo, I can't wait, bro.
Also, one last thing. We talked about the fact that she's a Unit 1 and there might be others, right? Like, do y'all think that they could have cloned other members of the Rocks Pirates?
Definitely.
Yeah. Y'all check the Twitter chat, the One Piece Twitter chat. I think I sent a tweet. Why didn't it send?
I saw somebody say that they thought Bonnie was a clone of Big Mom or some shit.
Yeah, that's what he
one I was.
Oh wait, I said that. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's what I was talking about earlier this week. Oh yeah.
I was about to say Callie did bring that up.
I definitely did bring it up earlier this week. Yeah, because it was a theory that all the I might even open up the chat. I didn't realize that's true. That theory that you put in the chat.
It looks glitched. I don't know if it really sent, but.
Nah, I got it. Yeah. No, I was talking to my boy about it because I recently met an IRL who really messes with One Piece. So we were talking about it, and he was telling me about this theory how Bonnie might be a clone of Big Mom, and all the Rocks clones were all the Rocks pirates were cloned at one point, and then he got a little bit crazy. I don't know how I feel about this one. He said Blackbeard is a clone of Rocks, that's why he can't sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that one. That was a little bit crazy, but it's definitely interesting though.
There was a kid, right? Wasn't there a kid that was born during that time, during that whole thing at God's Valley?
Yes, that was presumably supposedly Shanks. So the theory with that is that like Shanks was found, like he was taken on board. I was gonna say Rock's crew. Whew.
Whitebeard.
Actually, that's actually a possibility, but
Roger's crew, right?
Roger's crew, yeah. And because Rayleigh and Roger were reminiscing when Odin was on their ship, and he was saying how like, oh, this reminds me back in the day when, you know, we took a certain person under our wing, or we, you know, did like it was alluding to the idea that they like grabbed someone when they were a kid or a baby or whatever.
That's when Odin had their kids on the ship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That theory has been that Shanks was that person, because there's a lot of theories tying to Shanks about him potentially being a celestial dragon or something like that, right? So
and his age matches up with he was like one around.
Yeah. His age would perfectly align with the God Valley incident. So yeah, there's that, and I also. Rocks pirates, they might with Bonnie and stuff, that might be legit just off the simple fact that everyone's talking about how Weevil is most likely a clone of Whitebeard.
That failed.
So like,
I'm fucking ugly, bro.
Yeah,
I'm saying, bro.
Maybe, but it makes so much sense because I have no doubt in my mind that he is not the legitimate son of Whitebeard, and Whitebeard did not mate with her to make
Yo, mate is so crazy. Why you say it like they're animals, bro? Like they're creatures, bro.
Yeah, I say mate.
Keep the PG, bro.
I respect that.
I'm that cringe, but
don't say that, bro.
But
anyway,
yeah, so it makes so much sense to me because there was no doubt in my mind when I first saw Weevil and he was talking to, and she Buckham was saying like, oh yeah, like you are definitely the son of Whitebeard. I'm like, nah, get out of here. Now him being a clone,
that's a different thing.
Sense.
That's a different story.
Yeah,
and I just thought of something else actually that would make sense as to why Bonnie. That could be another thing that hurts Bonnie. Like you're not his real daughter. If it's like a clone of Grandma.
Facts.
That's true.
And there's a lot of similarities between Bonnie and her. Like
she's a vicious eater. Oh my god,
so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yo.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh man, yo, next week gotta come, bro.
It's all coming together. I can't wait till next week and Oda just shoots every one of these theories down and just comes out completely left field and just catches everybody off guard. It's gonna be great.
But no, that's the best part. Like being proven wrong is honestly, I honestly, when it comes to theories, I like to be proven wrong because I like
Absolutely.
I like Oda goes against the grain. Don't get me wrong, it feels good when you're right, but you know, you don't want the story to be so predictable that you can just like So that's why theory crafted in One Piece is fun because it's so broad and he leaves it up to so much speculation that only he knows what the answer. And you know, it's great when you're proven right, but it's not good if you are right literally 100% of the time because just like, well then the story must not like. There's some type of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're never surprised, you're never shocked. Like,
yeah. So
this is it's funny because I was like so ready to shoot down the idea of them all being clones, but now we have like the Bonnie thing, the Whitebeard thing, like, and it would make sense if Bakken had a clone of Whitebeard because she was the one cloned. She has
that. Yes.
Oh, man.
That's why, like, yes.
Shit, yeah.
The floodgates have been opened. This is literally going to be Clone Wars out here.
Clone Wars.
Attack of the Clones.
Clone Wars.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Bruh, like, let's get it.
The last thing, one other thing I wanted to bring up for sure within the chapter was the whole object thing, which is why it was a big thing to me, was because that confirmed that she said it and then she used it on the lock of the door. Bro, downstairs is a big ass mechanical giant that Bonnie could use her ability on. They turn it back to when it had power or something like that.
Yeah.
It could come back. It could be within this. Like, it could be a thing in this arc if she somehow uses her fruit to, go back in time or whatever. Turn it back on. So there's also that to look out for with her ability. It's crazy, bro.
Bro, Luffy's the clone of Roger because Luffy looked nothing like Dragon, bro. I'm just
They
saying.
woke.
I'm weak.
All coming together.
I'm weak. Here we go. Watch out for YouTube. The Omega clone theories, like
Yeah,
Luffy is the
they're
clone of Roger.
coming in hot. They're
It's
coming
gonna
in
happen.
hot.
That's gonna be a new Mr. Morse theory.
Yeah, we get some shit on. The whole
Everybody's a
year.
clone.
Yeah.
One Piece clones. That's gonna be the fucking title of this episode, bro.
Yeah. No, we can add clone characters to our fighting game.
Hey, yo, stay woke.
They
It's
all
all coming
shit, yo.
together.
Yo, this is gonna be OD in the fighting game, bro. Like, yo.
Low key. Was there anything else you guys want to go over this chapter? That's about it.
Nah, I think that's it.
bro.
All right. This has been it for episode 51. We have a chapter next week. I don't know if we're on break
Yes.
or not.
Yes,
No,
we are not
no
on
break.
break, brother. We are
All
not on
right,
break.
so chapter next week. So we'll be back next week with another episode and another chapter review. Hopefully we can get some more answers to all these questions that have been brought up with these revelations in this chapter. We'll see what happens.
Hell yeah.
As
yeah,
always,
yeah.
appreciate everybody that's hung out, watching. Appreciate everybody that's in Twitch chat, hanging out with us. Appreciate you. Make sure you guys follow the Twitter and follow the TikTok at Strawhat Sitdown
Yes.
for the Twitter and the
Please.
TikTok. We will be posting more info for the giveaway as soon as tonight. So I
Yes,
want
bear
you
with
guys
us, bear with us.
to make sure you're following the Twitter and the TikTok at Strawhat Sitdown for all updates on our Strawhat Sitdown podcast. Also, appreciate everybody that's listening on YouTube, Spotify podcast, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, etc., etc. We appreciate you. We thank you, and we hope that you will stay tuned for the next 50 episodes. We're hitting 100. There's no reason not to.
yeah.
We out here.
Oh, yeah.
You feel me?
We out here. Let's go.
Indeed. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Till next time, take it easy, be safe, be healthy. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all when we see y'all. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Metal, metal.
Peace.